Welcome to That's Good Sports. I am Brandon Perna, and the Giants are not only 4-1, they gave us the most famous jerk-off scene since Kevin Spacey in American Beauty. Darnay Holmes should change his first name to John, because I've never seen someone so comfortable getting whacked off in front of a crowd since the man who inspired Boogie Nights. Obviously, that's just a trainer giving him a thigh massage. I have to say that so YouTube doesn't take my channel down. The greatest kicker of all time, Justin Tucker, admitted what we've known for over 10 years now.
I'm just a system kicker. The ball kicks itself at that point.
And now that Justin got that off his chest, I can also say I'm a system YouTuber. Today, I'm gonna go through the best and worst awards for NFL Week 5. QBs, games, plays, players, we discuss it all. Let's get sports. Hey, today's episode is sponsored by Upside. Inflation got you down? More like deflation, right? Is your 401k looking more like Special K? Well, I can't fix that because I'm not an investor nor an economist, but I can help you get a little cash back for your everyday purchases. Upside is an easy-to-use app that gives you a chance to earn cash back on groceries, gas, and dining out. I've been using it when I go to the grocery store, and I've earned enough cash back that, I don't feel so guilty when I go and get that premium bottle of scotch after my trip to buy food and diapers, which Daddy needs. He needs it to get through the weekend. So download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play. Use my promo code GOODSPORTS and get $5 or more cash back on your first purchase of $10 or more. All you do is check in at the business, pay as usual with a credit or debit card, and get paid once you're linked up with Upside. You can cash out anytime to your bank, PayPal, or with an e-gift card. Just use my code or go to the link below and get started, which in and of itself is an upside. This was tricky, but best game? I'm going with Packers-Giants. It makes me feel good anytime we can export a good 60 minutes of football to another country. Those poor Brits have sat through plenty of bad Jags games and deserve a fun upset that featured a lot of creative plays and good coaching from Brian "Da Balls of Steel." Plus, their fans have stepped up their pregame with the best use of the classic kids song, "Shove That Fucking Cheese Up Your Ass."
Shove your fucking cheese up your ass. You can shove your fucking cheese. Shove your fucking cheese. Shove your fucking cheese up your ass.
John Feliciano showed us all exactly what happens when you shove too much cheese up your fucking ass. Hard cheese, none of that soft stuff like brie. Okay, so maybe it turned out to be Daniel Jones' bloody hand on John's butt and not rectal bleeding. Sideline handies, bloody bums, this game had it all, including my best come-from-behind win. The Packers were up 17-3 in the second quarter before the new London Giants scored 17 points to tie this game at 20. Mainly due to those spicy Brian Dable play calls, a double reverse for a touchdown here. If it's Brian "Da Balls of Steel" and he's got Dan Jones as QB, maybe it's "Da Balls of Steely Dan." Then Saquon Barkley gave us the best juke of the week to help the Giants finish off the most surprise upset. It was Barkley again walking in for the touchdown and the lead. There were just too many damn bests in this game. Best use of just the tipped passes. The Giants defense in the second half shut out the Packers, and they were perfect on the final few plays, stopping Aaron Rodgers and the Packers in the red zone. Worst, the Packers would have become the winningest team in NFL history, passing the Bears with a win. They remain tied with Chicago at 785. Best stat? Aaron Rodgers threw a touchdown to a first-round pick for the very first time in his career. An easy toss to tight end Mercedes Lewis. This is an incredible stat, but it's also a testament to the incredible stubbornness of the Packers to not spend a first-round pick on an offensive skill position. Best quarterback? Joshie Allen, after a bobbled kickoff, set up the Bills at their own 2-yard line to start the game. Josh Allen threw a bomb that cut through the Buffalo wind and found Gabe Davis, who did the rest. 98 yards. Do you know how crazy it is to make this throw from the end zone? And that might not even have been Josh Allen's best throw of the game, or Gabe Davis's best catch. Allen would have broken the all-time single-game yards record had his defense not totally shut down the Steelers, but he still ended up with 424 yards and 4 touchdown passes. He also tied Singletary with 42 rushing yards to lead his team. I'm giving the feisty rookie QB award to Kenny Pickett, who is willing to throw the smallest hands with Shaq Lawson after this hit. I like a rook willing to fight a defensive lineman. That's impressive. Pickett threw the ball 52 times in this game, had no touchdowns to show for it, but somehow looked good in a game where his offense only scored 3 points. Worst QB? Well, after leading the top scoring offense through 4 games, Jared Goff ran into his kryptonite, Bill Belichick, and got absolutely shut down by the Patriots defense. His worst play may be this sack fumble that New England scooped and scored. This was also my worst game of the week. Okay, the Broncos Colts was the worst game, but I already covered that on this channel in this video. The Patriots, though, slaughtered the Lions 29-0. The Lions, in very Detroit-ly fashion, went from the top scoring offense to getting shut down. Only one other team entered a game leading the league in scoring and got shut out. I don't know who it was, ESPN didn't tell me. All I'll say is life comes at you fast, doesn't it? Not only that, the Patriots defense didn't do anything crazy. They just played incredibly sound, fundamental football. Yuck. 2 sacks and 1 pick for the Pats in a shutout. The 1 pick by Jack Jones was really nice and prevented a touchdown, but in shutouts, you usually expect some crazy defensive stat, 10 sacks, 5 fumbles, or multiple pick sixes. Nope, just boring ass, keep the other team's offense out of the end zone and stop them on 4th down football. Jared Goff got outplayed by Bailey Zappi, who was efficient and boasted a passer rating of 100. You got zapped. Worst stat? The Lions were a cool 0 for 6 on 4th down attempts. The first time that's happened in NFL history. Thank you, Dan Campbell, though, for showing us what it would look like if Brandon Staley coached the Lions. My best offense? I'm giving it to just Breece Hall. That's right, one man. The Rook put up 97 yards on the ground, 100 yards receiving, and a touchdown in the Jets' 40-17 victory over the Dolphins. Hall accounted for 61% of the Jets' offensive yards. Not bad for the Rook. Best Mormon? Taysom Hill. He was the only 3-touchdown scorer on Sunday, and he rushed for 112 yards. Stephon Diggs, Nick Chubb, and now Taysom Hill are the only players to have 3 touchdown days this season. Hill also threw a touchdown and had how many return yards? 69 on 3 returns. 'Twas nice, and he had as many touchdown passes in this game as starting QB Andy Dalton. And Taysom only needed 1 attempt. And he recovered a fumble on a punt. This might be the most insane single-game performance by any player I have ever seen. Good job, Taysom. Best defense? Ooh, it would be easy to say the Patriots, who blanked the Lions and scored, but I'm going with the Cowboys defense that held the Rams to 10 points, including 3 turnovers and 5 sacks of Matthew Stafford. Micah Parsons had 2 of those sacks, aided of course by the overwhelmingly pro-Cowboys crowd in LA. DeMarcus Lawrence returned a fumble for a TD on the Cowboys' first defensive series. They hit Stafford 8 times and pressured him 36. The Rams had 37 rushing yards. So Dallas nearly pressured Stafford as many times as the Rams had rushing yards. My best play? Darnell Mooney. who went up over Chandon Sullivan and made one of the best catches you'll see this year. It seems very unlikely that I look to the Bears for a spectacular play, but the NFL always continues to surprise me. Honorable mention, Geno Smith, you sneaky son of a bitch. Best run, Dameon Pierce bullying his way through the Jags defense in a play that will almost certainly make my new segment, which I've titled Furious Sprints. It's never been seen or done before. I do declare that the NFL is officially a running league. The Patriots' Ramondre Stevenson had 161 rushing yards. And knowing Bill Belichick, look for Stevenson to get his next carry in Week 17. Austin Ekeler, though, is keeping the Chargers alive while Justin Herbie feels the pain of 1,000 knives every time he tries to throw a ball. Ekeler had a day, 173 rushing yards for the little man. That was more yards than any skill player this weekend. He did it on 17 carries. Yeah, that's 10.8 yards per carry, which doing that with 15 or more carries is impressive to say the least. There were 800-yard rushers on Sunday. Only 2 of those teams lost. The Browns, who lost to Austin Ekeler and the Chargers, and the Dolphins, who lost to the Jets, who had Breece Hall sitting with 97 rushing yards. My point, it's hard to lose when you run the ball this damn good, and if Nick Chubb didn't share carries with Kareem Hunt, he'd undoubtedly be the clear-cut best back on earth. He and Ekeler combined for over 300 rushing yards in the same game. It was really fun to watch that back and forth, but a weird performance I noticed was Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert, each breaking the century mark. That's former 49ers running back Raheem the Dream Mostert going off, with former 49ers head coach Mike McDaniel calling the plays, and yes, Jeff Wilson, the nobody running back for the Niners, going over 100, with Kyle Shanahan calling the shots there. Worst play? Well, that's going to go to Trevor Lawrence, who threw a back-breaking end-zone interception to Derek Stingley, who got the first pick of his young career. Stingley was one of 3 first-round corners to record their first career picks on Sunday, along with Sauce Gardner and Kaiir Elam. Best moment? Brian Robinson, playing for the first time since being shot twice in the leg during training camp.
And it's a little too on brand that the Commanders honored this triumphant return by getting a holding call on Brian's first carry.
Robinson was introduced out of the tunnel to the 50 Cent song Candy Shop, which is of course about surviving a shooting in a candy shop after 50 Cent famously tried to take candy from a baby. Brian, though, was shot by an adult, and that doesn't make his return any less significant. So great job, Brian. Worst moment? All of the moments in the final minutes of the Browns-Chargers game. Jacoby Brissett throws an unforgivable pick in the end zone that would have given Cleveland the lead. Then the Chargers went for it on 4th and 2 from their own 46. Listen carefully here. That was the worst decision any person on either of these teams has made in the last 2 years. But Staley was right to trust his defense. Cleveland barely moved the ball, and formerly clutch Cade York misses his second field goal of the day, costing the Browns the win. And another stat I enjoyed from Sunday, Jimmy the OG in the 35 Wins Club. The O doesn't stand for original. It stands for, oh my God, Jimmy G is 35-15 as a starter with a 98.8 passer rating. It also stands for, oh my God, I am coming again because Jimmy is on my G spot. Oh my God, we might be the best team in the league if we used our picks for players instead of Trey Lance. The 49ers, though, are now in the all-injury club as Nick Bosa, Jimmy Ward, Robbie Gould, all hurt, and Emmanuel Mosley tearing his ACL. Worst? Typo? David Montgomery. It's like a very Italian man tried to pronounce his name. Best finish? Darnay Holmes with his ass out, taking the second biggest beating in this game after the Packers. Runner-up, though, I'm going to say the Ravens, closing out a game on Monday Night Football after nearly giving it all away again. Shout out, though, to Justin Tucker for shouting out Jordan Stout for getting his first career game-winning hold.
From Jordan Stout, his first career game-winning hold.
Tucker now has made 61 straight field goals in the fourth quarter or overtime and is 23 of 23 in the final minute or overtime. My worst finish, well, fill-in Cardinals kicker Matt Amendola pushes the game-tying field goal wide right, granting Matt Prater another 10 years of job security. Kyler Murray dressed like Hillary Clinton, and he finished much like Hillary Clinton, not winning. And one more new segment, Virgins No More. We got the first touchdown club. We got Khalil Shakir and James Cook, both for the Bills, getting their first ever NFL touchdowns. And earlier I mentioned the young corners who all got their first picks. Sauce Gardner was in that club, and Sauce also got his first NFL safety. And finally, my best undefeated team, the Eagles. And not just because they're the only one. It wasn't pretty, Philly, but you got it done again. Thanks to a late clutch 3rd and 11 conversion by tight end Dallas Goedert, a couple rushing touchdowns from Jalen Hurts. Last week though, you were down 14-0 and won decisively. This week you were up 14-0 and barely won. I appreciate watching a team that can do it in all sorts of ways, and you got the Cowboys coming up. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please subscribe here on YouTube if I haven't annoyed you yet. And I put up a video about Matt Rule getting fired this morning. It's on the screen, so check it out.